ready for Christmas. This morning I got up extra early. I got up at 5:25 so that I could go walking at 6. I got out the door at 6:13. I'm trying to ramp up the exercise part of it because I'm frustrated with the weight loss. I was 79, wouldn't that be nice? 179.6 on the 1st of November. I weighed myself in the morning, and then today I'm 177.2. And I know when I first did clean keto consistently a long time ago, I lost 7 pounds in the first week. Now that was coming off a high carb, high refined carb diet, fatty central. I was 203 pounds, I think. So I'm not comparing apples to apples, but of course I'm in my head going, oh, 7 pounds. So I'm a bit frustrated, even though, to be honest, 2 pounds, 2.4 pounds is really, really good. This is day 7, so I'm now 1 weekend. So it's really good, but I just, yourself. I have been a little sloppy on the fasting. I'm coming home maybe at 6 o'clock in the evening, tearing into a block of cheese, and but it's not that I eat that right there and then. It's that I'm eating then for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 hours just before bed. So I need to stop that. I'm just being a bit sloppy and not disciplined. So I can be like that. I can be a bold child, to be honest. So especially when somebody tells me to do something, sometimes I kind of go against it. So it's still kind of earlyish morning here. I will say this though, even though the fat is not coming off, and the way you have these fat bits, and you're like, please, and the arms, it never falls off the fucking arms. That's the last place it comes off. Anyway, but I really enjoyed my walk this morning. The weather was just lovely. It was fresh. A lot of cars on the road. I was really surprised. Now I used to go to work really, really, really early, and like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was because I had a long commute, and there wasn't that many cars. But this was 6:13. A lot of people would be leaving to go to work in the city or whatever. So there was a lot of cars. So it was very nice to walk around. It was there was no like. There were street lights and everything, so it was very safe. And that was it. I had my phone with me as well for the if I needed the torch, but I didn't need it. I just stayed on where the lights were. So that was brilliant, and I will say I feel incredible. I feel amazing. I am taking my supplements. I have said in previous videos I'm a great believer in supplements. I've done no supplements, I've done supplements. I'm always experimenting. I'm a person, and I even watch a lot of people or read a lot of people who are not keto or anti-keto. I think it's very important to get a broad view. And my view would be a moderate view. Yes, keto works, but we also live in the real world. So sometimes you're going to have a party or whatever. And even somebody asked me yesterday, they said, what if there's no cream from my coffee? I have cream this morning. And I said, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat. Just have the milk in the coffee, whatever. Yesterday I had to have milk in my coffee because we ran out of cream in the office. That's life. And that's why I take a kind of a more Dr. Lustig, what's the other guy? Anyway, I take a more of a moderate approach, that we live in the real world. We have real lives, and it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to go the way you want it to go. You can try and plan as much as you can. Sorry about the noise there. That's my blow heater because I'm in the porch and it's like an ice box in here in the winter. We live in the real world, and sometimes we're going to get somebody invites us to something, or there's no cream in the fridge or whatever, so you have to adapt to whatever the situation is, as long as you're comfortable enough and it's not a terrible imposition. But a little drop of milk, in your coffee is not gonna kill you. And I take a lot of milk in my coffee, so it didn't. And I could say to myself, "Oh, it's slowing the weight loss and whatever." Look, I am not going to stress, and I think nobody should stress about that kind of stuff. Be realistic, Let's not be dramatic about it. So yeah, I do feel incredible. I feel sharp. I feel my body is in ketosis. I'm using my own body fat. That's what ketosis means. I'm using my own body fat. So, but the problem is when you're eating, then that could be going into storage. So you're eating, you're using your own body fat and one in, but is it going on? So I might do a 24-hour fast or 36-hour fast from yesterday. So I haven't eaten, and I might not eat this evening when I come home from work. Because to be honest, I don't know whether I'm eating for the sake of it, or like I could actually do with doing a good clean out, a 36-hour fast or even a little bit longer, and just getting everything that's inside flushed out so that I can kind of, maybe just do it that way and be a little bit more severe on myself for the month of November. But I don't know yet. It may not happen. I'm not going to be too ambitious. Anyway, so I'll leave you go. It's this day 7. I'm really happy with the way things are going. Join me. I'm getting ready for Christmas. I'm having a blood test on the 25th of November to see how this went. I'm having no carbs, no refined carbs, no carbs of any description apart from lettuce, and they are considered carbs, but they have so much fiber in them that we are usually net zero because of the fiber content. But they are carbs, broccoli, I just eat broccoli, Brussels sprouts and stuff, and they are carbs, but because of the high fiber content, I don't really count them as carbs. I usually mentally kind of just say I have 5 grams carbs, but I'm having no carbs, no refined carbs. I'm going to be absolutely strict for November, and I'm increasing my walking just for this. Part of it is just to get away from the house, get out of the kitchen, get away from the food, and just be busy, and that's it. So keep up the good work. I hope you join me on Fasting November. I think it's really, really good for you, really, really important. It is impossible to fast if you are on a high refined carb diet. If you're eating porridge, it's impossible to fast. Don't even try it. If you eat refined carbs, you will not get longer than 2 to 3 hours before you're fucking starving again. I was always hungry. I would get up in the morning at 6. I would have toast. I mean, it was like an incessant cycle, a hamster wheel of food. And I mean, that was even when I was slender or slim back in, I just piled on the pounds in the last time because I was commuting a long way and I was in the car practically half the day sitting on, and I had no actual physical time to get out walking. Whereas now I have actual physical time to get out walking. But also, don't eat the carbs. Porridge is shit. Don't eat that shit. Use it as a treat now and again. I have it as a treat. We do have no porridge. No porridge. It spikes your insulin, spikes your blood sugar, spikes your insulin early in the morning. Everybody thinks it's so healthy. It is not healthy. Get all refined carbs out of your diet for November. Get really strict. You will, if you have not been in ketosis and you're insulin resistant, you will be stinking. You will find it very, very hard the first 5 days and you'll be stinking. Try and start maybe on a Thursday or a Friday before the weekend so that you'll be stinking maybe Saturday or Sunday, where you have this horrible, stinky, sour smell coming from your armpits and your sweat. That's all that is your body switching over from using only glucose because it doesn't know how to take the fat out of your storage system. It doesn't know how because you've had too much insulin constantly spiking in your system. So your body is insulin resistant. Watch Benjamin Bikman, Dr. Benjamin Bikman, incredible scientist, amazing. Read his books. How Not to Get Sick is his latest book, is released in July 11th. Incredible book. Sorry for scratching my head. I always do it. I don't know. I must be very intelligent. So Benjamin Bikman, read his books. Dr. Lustig, Metabolically. But I would read, Benjamin Bikman is a real expert on insulin resistance. There's Dr. Johnson. There's a whole lot of guys, Dr. Berg, whatever. So you need to accept that that's going to happen if you are insulin resistant, what I was when I started. Now I'm insulin sensitive, so even if I go out of keto, my body handles carbs very well, and I can go back into keto and ketosis very, very quickly. It still takes me a couple of days, but I don't get that stinky smell anymore because my body is fat, what we call fat adapted. It basically can use your own fat. So it can switch. It's like your hybrid, whereas a lot of your hybrid is not working. You're only using one fuel source, which is the one you're ingesting, the glucose. So I am able to switch between my fat storage and using my hybrid model, which is my glucose. So what I ingest, I can also then quickly switch over to my fat. So I'm never hungry. It is, you will not believe that it can happen. You will not believe me until you do it. I did not believe it. I was extremely skeptical, extremely cynical. It took me weeks to actually finally do it. And I would say a couple of months of research. I am meticulous in my research, and I always look at both sides very carefully. And then you have to dive in at some point. You have to dive in. Get a pair of earbuds. These ones are wired in, but I have the wireless ones for my phone. Get some music on, even though you're not used to it. Some people are like, "Oh, I never take my phone when I'm walking." Fucking get your phone in and put in your earbuds. Get some music on. Start liking something. Listen to old stuff. There's loads of stuff on. I listen to YouTube. I don't bother with Spotify, which I could, but I just like YouTube. Okay, there's ads sometimes. Just flick them off and get going and get out there. You will begin to love your life. You will begin to love, you will wonder how you ever lived before. And as I have said to so many people who don't believe me, half of them, but it's like reaching the promised land. You know, when you hear that story about the promised land, I'm telling you, it exists. It's like reaching the promised land. No matter what hurdles you have, no matter what rocky patches you're going through, mentally and physically, it is like reaching the promised land, the one that we never thought existed. It is unbelievable, mentally and physically. So go for it, go for it. Give yourself, say, I'm going to do it for November. Start now, start today. Join me and do it. It's going to be so good, and you'll feel amazing. And accept, if you're starting for the first time, accept you're going to feel a little bit shit at the start. That's just, everything takes effort. There is no such thing as a free lunch. I'm always using sayings for everything. People are like, oh, what the hell? There is no such thing as a free lunch. And also, you're doing yourself an injustice, which I realize myself. You're doing yourself the injustice of hiding your light under a bushel. You are living a half a life that you think you deserve, and you don't really. You could live a really great life of just complete and utter satisfaction is the word. It's not even unjust. It doesn't do it justice. It's, I said before, reaching the promised land. So see you soon. I will keep you updated. This is day 7, and I'll be doing one every day.